is the Anthony Cumia Show. Thanks for popping on. Lots to talk about this evening. Just crazy doings. Crazy doings, especially up there in Minneapolis. This is like the epicenter of the battle, I guess. The right and left, right and wrong, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. Oh, you could divvy it up any way you damn well please, but we are definitely not on the same wavelength these days. The one consistency, though, is that as a conservative, as much conservative as somebody that's been a shock jock can be, I can still converse with liberals. I could still have a beer with a liberal. Them, not so much. They are constantly disavowing friends and family members and disowning people they've known for years. Quite tragic. Imagine your political ideology breaks up your family. Family's supposed to be, that's a bond literally for life. That's your life's bond. And you don't like what people are doing, and you break your family up. And then I'm listening to people, and they're talking about checks and balances. This is an interesting thing. Checks and balances. The left, the Democrats, they believe that Donald Trump and his administration, this tyrannical dictatorship that is the Trump administration, has no checks and balances to keep things on the straight and narrow, to keep democracy in order. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is the check and the balance of what these idiots did for 4 years under Joe Biden. Do they not get that? Do they not understand that we had to sit around and watch that debacle for 4 effing years? We watched the whatever that was, the Biden administration, the puppet regime, and we weren't happy, and we watched what we believed was our country coming apart at the seams. We saw an administration that seemed dead set against continuing to be America, ripping down every institution and the history of this country. And we were like, yeah, there's a check and balance. There's an election. And we will elect Donald Trump as the check and balance against 4 years of misery under that Alzheimer-riddled buffoon and his court of jesters. And we knew we would get a chance to put in a check and a balance. And when Trump was elected, that was the check, that offset, that balanced what happened. And what does the left do when that happens? They don't agree. Well, we didn't agree. We didn't go out there and interfere with law enforcement. I'll tell you one thing. It would have been great to go down to the border and rip down the barbed wire fence. Or not, what am I saying? Not rip down the barbed wire fence. To put up the barbed wire fence. Look at me. I'm switching sides in the middle of my diatribe. States were putting up barbed wire fences, and the Biden administration was having them removed. Activist judges were having them removed. How about we go down there and replace them? The president ordered law enforcement to rip down that barbed wire, to allow people to come in. What if we went down there, confronted Biden's law enforcement and said, no, we want to stop them from coming across the border? Do you think they'd have said, okay, and walked away and let us do whatever we wanted to do? No. And we knew that because we're a little bit sensible. They don't know that. So they go there, they're blowing whistles, they're honking horns, they're driving cars in menacing fashion, and they're taking guns to approach police officers, get into altercations with them, and regardless, whatever the circumstance was, he gets shot. You know how he couldn't have gotten shot? Don't take a gun and force some type of confrontation with the police. Then I guarantee you wouldn't get shot. For how much they're saying that ICE are these executioners walking down the street, could someone please give me an instance of ICE agents just walking around and popping people? Hey, look at that guy. Boom, let me shoot him. Then you'd have a bit of an argument. I would be hard-pressed to defend ICE if they were just walking around popping people in the head. You have to have threatened them in some way where they believed their life was being threatened, imminent danger of losing their lives. They deal with these protesters. They throw some smoke bombs. They shoot pepper balls at you. The vast, vast majority, umpteenth level of majority of these people walk away with, I don't know, some itchy eyes, whatever, a bruise. Two of them out of all these morons you see are dead. Sorry. Because they were responsible for their own actions. And they paid consequences of their actions. And we're just supposed to think, you know, like I said, if we went down to the border, ripped down, put up the barbed wire that they were ripping down, and picked up weapons to use them against illegals that were coming into this country, do you think if we got shot by one of these police that were or federal agents under the Biden administration that any of these idiots would have given two craps about it? They'd celebrate it. But you got troublemakers, they get injured or killed for their own actions. And I'm supposed to feel bad about that? I'm supposed to try to come up with some convoluted, wacky reason why the police are responsible for this guy being an idiot and getting himself killed? Or that woman in the car, same story? Get out of here. Kiss my ass. As my mom used to say. Kiss my ass. Let's talk to Julian. Julius in Jersey. What's up, my friend?
Julius.
Yes.
What's up, Anthony?
Happening.
To be blunt, I got to call this out. Going back to 2014, remember that Bundy Ranch situation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so why was it okay for jackoffs to have guns pointed at feds then, but yet this guy, and I saw the video, a woman was being pushed around by these goons. Yeah. He was picking her up, and then they swarmed at him. And yeah, he wasn't reaching the gun. If anything, they had his hands away from the gun.
Well, before I get into the Bundy thing, I'll answer your question about that. He was in the middle of a police operation, and when that woman went,
no, he was picking up a woman.
Hold on, that's exactly it. And if he's picking up a woman, that what the police pushed her down?
They dragged her around, and it's like
yeah,
wrestling, like when the guy
I get you.
Woman, swings her around. Yeah.
Do you know what happened? Do you know what happens when someone walks in to a police, whether it could be a traffic stop? It could be a traffic stop. Do you know what happens to someone? They walk up to the subject
she was walking
and
back.
put the
She was walking back. She wasn't right on top of them.
Don't care. she was being either pushed away from the situation or
She was filming them.
or ready to be detained by the cops. Whatever it was, whatever was happening there, it was. Here it is. Here it is, Julius. It was none of his goddamn business. It was none of his business to get involved with that woman. If the police pushed her away, whatever it was, and he was doing a lot more than just helping her up. Beforehand, he was blocking traffic. He was standing in the way of their vehicles. He wasn't a saint in this whole thing. Did he deserve to get shot for... Wait. Did he deserve to get shot for helping a woman up, for blocking traffic, for making believe he was directing traffic? Of course not. But something incited those cops, something he did incited those cops, and he was armed, and he should have damn well known better than to get involved in an altercation with federal agents when you have a gun on you.
Well, he didn't have the gun on his hands.
He had it on him right before he was shot.
Where was the threat?
It was taken away by an officer. They said gun. They said gun, meaning the subject had a gun, and the ICE officer took the gun from him within a microsecond of them saying gun, and then they heard a shot because it inadvertently, the officer inadvertently fired that gun. Now, was it by the book?
So it's called incompetence then.
No, it's not incompetence. It's called an accident. It's called a miscalculation. It's called, if he wasn't there with a gun confronting cops, he'd be fine right now. That's what it's called, Julius.
No,
and as far as the Bundy, as far as the Bundy, hold on, as far as the Bundy Ranch thing goes, that was their property. They were defending their property against the federal government that was infringed.
No, that wasn't. I know the story. That was not their property. They were not. They were supposed to be paying rent for it. It was not for their property. It was not a property from the 19th century. It was rented out after the war. It was never their property.
Which war?
It was always federal. The Second World War.
Yeah, it was there. They were legally on that property. It doesn't matter. Hey, there are people that squat. There are people that squat in people's apartments that have legal ownership of that place until they're kicked out months, sometimes years later. You are legally allowed.
I'm not an advocate on squatters.
But you're legally that was their property to be on. They were legally allowed to be there, and they were grazing their cattle on that land, and the government got pissed off about it, and they approached them to throw them off. They had every right to defend themselves and their land. That's what they were doing. It's a big difference between that, and getting on federal agents for doing a legal job, legally doing what their job is. The president told them, gather up and deport illegals. It's a lot different than pulling guns on American citizens on their own property that are trying to live their lives and raise cattle.
Well, it's not their property, and also they were screwing over American taxpayers. Also, are people here who have legal asylum-seeking paperwork, who are doing the thing by the book, by going to the court, should they be picked up then? Just retroactively decided, no, they're illegal.
Yeah, let me tell you why, Julius. Let me tell you why. Because the asylum program in this country had been so screwed up, and they utilized it to let anyone that wanted to come in under the guise of being some refugee or needing amnesty. They let them in. All of it should be null and void. If you really have a claim to some type of amnesty or sanctuary, then resubmit, because the system was so corrupted under Biden. We don't know who the hell were actually refugees or in need of asylum in this country. So throw them all out, resubmit, And if it passes muster, you're back in. Until then, get out.
He's not letting them resubmit. He's kicking them out wholesale without due process.
Oh, well, due process. Here's the due process. You're not a citizen. You're not legally. You're not legally here. You are here under a corrupt administration, the Biden administration, who swung the doors open and signed anyone's form for asylum or whatever other godforsaken reason they let people into this country to get more voters. That's what it's all about. The SAFE Act. It's all about the SAFE Act, which we will talk about. I'm way over on time. We will return in moments. Oh. Julius wound me up. Oh, my God. God. I just don't get how people can think like this. And look, everyone's got their opinions. They've cultivated them from their experiences and what they've learned and read and a little bit everything. But, I mean, it's a totally different animal, first of all. The Bundy Ranch and them protecting their land. Yeah, it's rented. It's leased. It's one of these unbelievably long leases. It's your land. It's a land deal. A lot of people's property, especially back in the olden days, that's how it was done, especially with government land. And why did the government back off? Why did they back off in that case? Because they knew the Bundys had a case. They knew that they knew that, and they certainly didn't want another Waco or Ruby Ridge. That's something that was, it's still fresh in people's minds. To try to equate that with this idiot that brought a gun to a protest, it's a whole different animal. That's like they're trying to equate it to Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, well, I guess if Kyle Rittenhouse shoots people. What? Kyle Rittenhouse was shooting in absolute self-defense, which a court of law determined was self-defense. He shot 3 pieces of garbage that were trying to kill him. And believe me, no great loss with those 3. So they always try to equate it with something that we on the right thought was a good thing and was reasonable and was justified. And it's just not. The left, I've said it a million times, the left have the worst martyrs ever. The people they hold up as martyrs, they get killed in some commission of a crime or being absolute dopes. And then we're supposed to go, oh, George Floyd. Oh, send him off in a golden casket. Spock was amazing. He didn't even get a golden casket. They put him in some black thing and shot him off into the Genesis planet. If anyone deserved a gold casket, it was Mr. Spock. But there, George Floyd, Mike Brown, hands up, don't shoot, that lie. The woman trying to run an agent over. And now the latest, Alex Pretty, bringing a gun to a protest, and then to top it off, getting into it with the cops. Oh, he was trying to help up a girl that was pushed down by the police. Here's when I say you best be aware constantly that you're carrying a gun and act accordingly, which means biting your tongue, swallowing your pride, not escalating anything. That's what having a gun on you for self-defense entails. And to think you would help like a woman up. Yeah, if she falls over a curb while she's trying to cross the street, of course. Oh, I got a gun. I better not help that woman. Of course you help her. If she's doing something that the police are angry enough at to push her away from that situation, you got to look and go, you're on your own, honey. Because if you get hands-on with her, you're going to get hands-on with the cops, and you're armed. Now you're in Dutch. Now you're in a bit of a jam, aren't you? And that's exactly what happened. Were there screw-ups in that whole thing? Of course. Yeah, he wasn't. You can't, though, say he wasn't armed when they shot him. Yeah, he was armed a 15th of a second before they shot him. The cop yelled gun before they shot him. There was a gunshot before they shot him. Sorry. Yeah, it didn't all go as planned. It's not some great little thing you could wrap up with a bow and submit and go, here's what it was. He was doing this, and here was the consequence. But I have to believe that in a true, just court of law, that they will see that this was a justified shooting. Was it right? Should it have happened? Was it this? What? I don't know. I'm just talking about being justified in the eyes of the law, not in the emotions of liberals. There's a big, big difference there, folks. Big, big difference. Oh, God, I'm over, ain't I? All right, back in a flash. Yes. Let's check out Paul in Queens, New York. Paul, how you doing, man?
Okay. I just want to mention quick.
Doesn't sound it.
Oh, hello. Hey.
Yeah, there you are. How you doing? That sounds better. It sounded like you were in a 55-gallon drum in a waste treatment plant. That's better. That's better, Paul.
Okay, just quick.
What do you say, Paul? We paint each other up.
Huh?
All right. What's up, Paul?
Okay, sir. If you Google AI with Waltz, he's got two stances. He's anti-gun.
Yep.
So why was his mouth not open about this guy's carrying too many bullets, like he used to say? You got too many bullets. What are you going to do, kill a squirrel?
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other thing is he's child protection. Why do we have little kids in these riots? Where's this child service protection to kick out these mothers who bringing their kids to these riots?
Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely.
AI Google on that. You got it.
Yep.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no one is going after these moms for the most part that are strapping these babies to their backs, going out into -0 temperatures in a riot zone. I'm stunned. How little love do you have for your kid if you're putting him on your back in a little papoose and going out into some of the most dangerous stuff that's happening in this country right now. Some of the most dangerous situations that are happening at this moment, and you're bringing your kid? This isn't a concert in Central Park. This isn't No Nukes in Central Park. These are riots. People are getting hurt and killed for their dumbass actions, and they want to take their kids. I read a story. There's so many stories online that are hilariously fake, and I assume this one is, but here it is. It was a mother was at work, and the father, who's apparently illegal, was at home with his 6-year-old daughter while the mother works, watching the kid. And the father decides he's got to go out. And, of course, it was to get food for the child. So he gets in his car and leaves. And lo and behold, the snouts on the ICE agents are like drug dogs. They could sniff an illegal. And they pull him over, and they drag him out of his car and take him away. No one knows where he is, what happened to him. And what happened? An hour later, that 6-year-old child was found roaming the streets of our neighborhood by a neighbor crying, "Where's my daddy? Where's my daddy?" I've had girls say that years ago. "Where's my daddy?" I had to throw that in the Amex, and that's a whole nother story, folks. Anyway, what I garnered from that story was, what a crappy father. How do you leave a 6-year-old alone in an apartment? They were alone. The mom's at work. You're caring for your 6-year-old daughter, and you leave the house? There's nothing to just tide you over to eat until mom gets home? If you leave a 6-year-old home alone, that kid deserves a better parent than you. Deport you, get Child Protective Services involved, because you are neglecting and endangering that child. But they were posting it as, "This is terrible." I think it was Nancy Sinatra. Stupid ass Nancy Sinatra posted like, "This is heartbreaking. Get your shoes, get your boots, and start walking." No one wants to hear it, Nancy. I'm sorry, Joe Piscopo. I know you like her. I, for one, don't. I think we haven't done this in a little while. We got to get to, and I hope you have it there up in New York, Clown of the Week. All right. Oh, no, up to bam, bam, wonk, wonk, Clown of the Week. I just did it. The opening is on the fritz. Yeah, Clown of the Week. Oh, hold on. No, not yet. I want to preface it a little prefacing. The Clown of the Week is usually a celebrity, sometimes a politician. Jane Fonda has been the Clown of the Week before. She is again. Listen to this just utter lies, nonsense, and BS she's spouting on the Colbert Show, the dead man walking Colbert Show. Jane?
The Anthony Cumia Show presents the Clown of the Week.
All right. And now let's hear from the Clown of the Week, Jane Fonda.
If the government is not meeting the needs of its people, there's something wrong, right? We're seeing things happen that have never happened before. This isn't like it was in the 40s and 50s. This is authoritarianism has made its way into every single nook and cranny of our government. Mm-hmm. They are kidnapping people. They are illegally deporting American citizens.
Going into American citizens' homes without warrant.
Minneapolis, where they shot Miss Good. They're shooting people. They're blinding people. All kinds of really, really bad things are happening. And it's not a question of right or left. I don't care what party you belong to. It's a question of right or wrong, right?
Woo! Barbarella.
I think lines are being crossed, and it's enough.
Wow, good one. It's enough. That's Jane Fonda, who sat on an anti-aircraft battery that took the lives of many airmen in the Vietnam War. So no love for Jane Fonda, but there she is on Colbert, just lying. Can I get one of the American citizens that have been deported? Is there one American citizen, not someone with this amnesty paperwork, not some anchor baby citizen? That's it. Where is an American citizen, apple pie and Chevrolet, being ushered off to a faraway land because they have been deported? They lie to you. They lie to you. Jane Fonda is a clown. And she, it's the script. They all get the script. It's what they're told to say. And once you're a celebrity, a Hollywood insider, You are given the script and you must recite it and repeat it lest you're thrown out. And even at 112 years old, Jane Fonda still has that want and need for the acceptance and attention of that Hollywood crap hole cabal, that cult that's going on there. So brave. I love how they call each other brave for speaking out about Trump and ICE and all that. It's the safest thing you could possibly do. The safest thing you could possibly do is speak out about Trump. When comics do it and they're trying to seem like, yeah, man, I'm willing to take the heat. The heat? What? You're lounging in a lukewarm bath when you go after Trump and ICE and all this. The same nonsense. And they use every tool in the toolbox. They try to make it seem like ICE is the Gestapo. Trump is this horrible dictator. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. The worst dictator in history is Donald Trump. He is the worst dictator, the worst tyrant, the worst oppressive leader of a regime. What type of oppressive, tyrannical leader allows people to protest? But they're shooting them. Not the protesters. We saw supposedly tens, if not hundreds of thousands of protesters. I saw the clips braving the freezing temperatures to show Donald Trump he can't get away with this and that and that. Was ICE there mowing people down? Where were the tanks? Where were the tanks driving down the street, blasting the protesters? The ICE tanks and military. Where were where was the ICE Air Force? The ICE A-10s. Where was that? Burping their rounds into the crowd. Why aren't these people being arrested? There were 3 people arrested for aggressively invading a Christian church last week. They were arrested. Where are they now? Out. No bail, just out. They were released. Worst dictator ever. And they insist he is this tyrannical leader. They call him Hitler. Nazi. Oh, my God. We'll go a little more with Hollywood here. You know how I love Hollywood. They've all gotten the script. All of the Hollywood actors and actresses, they get the script handed down, and they get on social media, whatever it is. Here's Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman is she's another one of these liberal actresses, and she hates Donald Trump. She thinks ICE is bad and democracy. They always try to say that Trump is destroying democracy, throwing away the Constitution. How is adhering to the law, getting your law enforcement agents to deport people because they were brought in here illegally under the last administration? How do you then say that's ripping up the Constitution? That is exactly what the Constitution says a president can legally do. So I don't get it, but let's hear from the lovely Natalie Portman.
What's going on in our country right now is absolutely horrific with what the federal government, Trump's government, Kristi Noem, ICE, what they're doing is really the worst of humanity. And then we also have the best of humanity for the way people are showing up for each other in community and Americans
breaking the
coming
law
out to support each other and protect each other and fight against injustice. So I could not be prouder to be American right now by the way the Americans are acting. And I could not be sadder to be American right now with the way the government is behaving.
By the way, that is the line. You listen to what I'm saying right now, because that's what you're going to hear from every celebrity and politician for the next week or so. I couldn't be prouder to be an American based on what I'm seeing in the American people. And I couldn't be sadder. I couldn't be more ashamed than what I see the government doing. That's their catchphrase. I already heard some other actress with the exact same line. But that's going to be their script for the next week. Because they don't have minds. These people don't have minds. They don't think about what they actually feel and then try to put that to words. They're empty vessels. It's Hollywood, actors and actresses. They're only good at acting because they don't have real people inside them. They're empty vessels. You pop the head open. You dump in words. You dump in where they're supposed to stand. And you roll the camera. So when they're talking about real life stuff, they can't. It's still just a scripted thing that is given to them. Hi, Natalie. Yeah, this is now what you have to say. This is the latest script. Learn it and then just say it. Okay, I will do what you tell me. Like a robot. And Olivia Wilde, she's another one. Here's another actress. Same thing. They got the script, and now it's time to recite it because the Democrats and liberals and Hollywood and everyone else has told them that's what they have to do. Let's listen to Olivia.
The world is hurting right now, and this country is hurting, and
no, it's not.
Appalling. I'm appalled. I'm sickened. And we can't go another day just sort of accepting this as our new norm.
Yes, we can.
It's outrageous. People are being murdered. And
no, they're not.
I don't want to normalize seeing people being murdered on the internet, on film. It's hideous. And so if we can do anything out here to support the movement to cast ICE out, to delegitimize this unbelievably criminal organization, then that's what we should be doing. So I'm proud to wear the pin.
And it's great to see people with your platform to speak out against that kind of stuff, right? That you and so many great creatives here are doing that.
Well, I think so many Americans are. I mean, you see the marches happening around the country. Americans are speaking up in huge numbers, and it's dangerous to be a protester now, and people are still going out into the streets, which is incredibly inspiring.
Oh, incredibly inspiring. Is that what you're doing? Are you out on the streets? Easy to say from a gated community with bodyguards and publicists and everyone that surrounds you when you go out. You can make these profound statements about how awful everything is. And you don't want to watch any more people being killed on the internet? Well, I certainly hope you don't subscribe to some of the accounts I do, like Chicago, law enforcement, and New York, and Atlanta, and New Orleans, L.A., because you'll just see people getting killed every day on the streets. But it's not ICE agents doing it, so I guess that doesn't matter to you. Olivia Wilde. She's, wow. Gotta love Olivia Wilde. It's so blatantly obvious that I always just hope people see it. Hollywood. The influence Hollywood has, not just the little dot on the map Hollywood. I'm talking the bigger picture of Hollywood, the movie-making industry, the industry that puts visuals and sound into your eyes and ears and has a way of influencing people. And they all of them are of the same exact mindset. That doesn't seem a little odd to you? I've worked in many different industries, and every one I'd go to work and people had different opinions. vastly different opinions. But Hollywood, for some strange reason, they all think exactly the same. Huh. Weird. Back in a moment. Are we worked up this evening? I certainly think so. Joaquin, Pennsylvania. What's up, my friend?
Evening. Good evening,
Good evening.
Anthony. Hey, you remember this one? I'm not fond of Jane.
I'm not fond of Jane. There used to be bumper stickers around the 70s and, about Jane Fonda. Terrible.
And you're talking about getting an ice storm, right? That ice storm brings the unwanted, but there are good ice storms that take away the unwanted.
Yeah, believe me, it was weird this whole weekend with what's going on in Minnesota and the ice storms going on down here. I didn't know what story I was reading sometime, but yeah.
Yeah, so I also have a concealed carry permit, and even when I'm not carrying, if I get pulled over by a police officer, I know that when they run my plates, odds are they're going to know that I have a permit.
Yes.
And so I put my hands on the steering wheel, and I don't make any movements. You know what I'm saying? That could cause any kind of concern. Okay,
exactly.
And so now here we have a situation where we have a guy, and he decides he's going to go out and he's going to obstruct, he's going to confront, not just mere standing there protesting. He's going to impede, law enforcement officials from doing their job. And he's going to go out there and he's going to be armed. I'm sorry, right then and there, that's the story. That's the end of it as far as I'm concerned.
You're looking for trouble. You're not being smart and responsible with your firearm. Even the Second Amendment. Look, I am one of the biggest supporters and advocates for the Second Amendment, but there's responsibility that goes along with it. And some people seem to think, even me, I catch some flack on social media all the time going, oh, some Second Amendment guy. Why? Because I think a guy should have a gun on him and get into an altercation with police. And because he gets shot, I'm not the Second Amendment guy anymore. Go screw. You're out of your mind.
That's complete insanity. But the thing of it is the left wants this, and they want more and more.
Yes.
Because they think that it's going to stop the ICE operation.
Exactly.
And I hope that Trump and Homeland Security and that they stay strong on this. And,
they got to.
And I really want to get to that the tumbleweed war issue, what that guy brought up there with the Hammonds and the Bundys.
The Bundys, yeah.
You know something? What happened there was that the Obama administration went in and they started confiscating state land, and putting it into the federal park system, and that was land that was allowed the ranchers, to graze their cattle on. And if you notice, we have a little bit of a problem with beef in this country, a shortage of beef. Well, they deliberately went after basically beef production in this country, and that basically was probably part of it. Where they
again another agenda that wasn't really talked about. Ranchers, get on them, get beef production down. Yeah, it makes sense.
And also too, the young man that was shot and killed, I believe his name was Eamon. Anyway, he apparently, even the video shows from the FBI, the FBI helicopter. Because I know somebody who did another radio show, and he knew somebody that was there. And they were trying to get to the sheriffs to surrender to the sheriffs and not to the FBI.
Right.
And when he was actually shot, if you watch the video, you will see he's reaching for his shoulder like he's been shot. They say he was reaching for a gun, but no, that was actually put on a continuous loop to try and make it look like he was reaching for a gun, where if you've ever been shot like I have, he was reacting as a person who gets shot.
Yeah.
And just reaching for his wounds, so that whole thing that guy brought up,
they'll use anything and everything to try to forward that agenda of theirs. They will lie about anything, no matter how despicable those lies are. That's what they do. Thanks, Joaquin. He brings up a point. I guess I'm going to have to get to this maybe after the break. Oh, I hate when I'm at that teeter-totter time where I might have to go to a break. But I did want to talk about the because there's protesters talking about that even if ICE leaves, that won't be enough. And I'll get to this in the next hour because this is the give them an inch, they'll take a mile problem that I have, and I think a lot of people that are like-minded have with the left. There's no stopping them. You don't give over something to the left and they pack up and leave. They never just go, oh, you gave us that. Well, pack up the stationery and the envelopes and the protest signs. They gave it to us. We're done here. Let's enter society. Let's get jobs. Let's become productive members of America. They don't do that. Their whole life is protest and bitching and moaning about every single thing that Americans want. Our history, our ability to live our lives the way we want, to be around people we want to be around, the best people for the job, all those things. You give them a win, like in this case, if ICE ever was forced to leave Minnesota, and you have screwed up big time, you'll just embolden them, and all they want to do is go against and stop anything the Trump administration is doing right now. And his supporters, which make up, like I said, more than half of the people that voted in the last election. So I'll talk about that. We'll play a clip of a protester because they're speaking out, and it's proof that they don't care what latitude they're given. They will continue being a pain in the ass to this country. All right? Hey, it's everyone's favorite time when our good friend Steven Singer, the I Hate Steven Singer guy, announces his brand new gold-dipped rose color for Valentine's Day. That's right. This year's color is romantic, breathtaking, and unforgettable. Imagine you're on vacation with your sweetheart. You gaze into her eyes and see a beautiful sunset. You're in love. What if you could feel that every day? Or at least be reminded of that in-love sunset vacation feeling. You can with Steven Singer's brand new Sunset 24-karat gold-dipped rose. Picture it, a rose that's perfectly capturing the sunset hues, going from deep purple to vibrant pink, soft orange. There's nothing like it. Nothing like you've ever seen before. Steven's famous gold-dipped roses are real roses dipped in pure 24-karat gold, guaranteed to last a lifetime. They start at just $69. Steven Singer, he makes Valentine's Day shopping easy. The new Sunset Rose is only available at Steven Singer Jewelers. Get yours right now at IHateStevenSinger.com with fast and free shipping. Steven Singer Jewelers, that's IHateStevenSinger.com. Thank you for tuning in. I know with the, playoffs and stuff, Sunday night, people have that football thing. I have decided to forego any football. I did this for a couple of years now. I just do not like the agenda of the NFL. Most sports these days, maybe hockey. No, even hockey. MLB. Don't even get me started with the NBA. But, the Super Bowl, what do we got? What's his dumb name? Bad Bunny. Oh, God. Bad Bunny. Donald Trump said he will not be attending or watching the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny is the halftime act. Bad Bunny apparently, from what I heard, and news sources and what have you, going to wear a dress. Bad Bunny's going to wear a dress. This is a big guy. and he's going to wear a dress during his Super Bowl performance. How do you, as a guy, as a man in America, sit down with your son and watch football games when you know that their motive, what do you think? Their motive is to entertain you and your son or anyone else? Hey, this is fun. Let's entertain. Make money? Yeah, they make money with sponsorships and whatnot, but it's not that way anymore. It's to get you to sit there with your kid as they pound this crap into your kid's face. Bad Bunny and his dress and the commercials, the Super Bowl commercials that are all this nonsense tearing down of masculinity and America. And you sit there, as a parent, I guess you're supposed to keep your children safe. Isn't that something for millennia? Animals do this. The top priority is keeping their offspring safe. And you do it, You make sure they're safe when they're out riding their bikes. They're safe out at night. You do everything you can to keep your kids safe. But you'll sit there and pat them on the back, and mom will bring food in so you could have the most enjoyable time as your kids being brainwashed and indoctrinated with this nonsense and garbage that they're pumping into his head, his young, impressionable head. Oh, it's halftime, the big halftime show. Let's watch a man in a dress. Oh, it's the commercials, the Super Bowl commercials, the most important thing, almost as important as the game. Let's watch some lesbians and some transsexuals and telling your kid how great this is. Oh, God. What's wrong with people? Wake the F up. You don't think it's a purposefully choreographed agenda they're feeding you? You may not see it, and it might not even affect you. But your kid, and you're the one plopping them right there in front of it. Buy them a microscope or a telescope. Let them learn some real stuff. For the love of God. All right. Anyway, here's a protester, and they're speaking out about what's going on in Minneapolis. There are tens of thousands of these that come across your eyeballs while you're scrolling social media. And they're all the same. So I picked one, and this one in particular really drives home the point that I've been saying, that they are never satisfied. This isn't something where you give them a win and they pack up their stuff and go away. Give them an inch, they'll take 20 miles. This is the way it's been. Oh, we just want gays to be able to get married. Why shouldn't you be able to love the person you love? And this and that and the other thing. And we all capitulate and go, well, yeah, if you're loving and this and they love each other. A couple of years later, there's a big fat-ass, hairy-ass man shaking it in front of your kids as parents are giving their kids money to shove in this man's G-string. Oh, but gay marriage. Yeah, that was a couple of years back. We're on to this now, and we're forcing you to not only accept it, not only be tolerant of it, we want you to celebrate it. Yeah, I don't think I want to celebrate it. Oh, homophobe, transphobe, this phobe, that phobe. All right, so here's this protester, and give him an inch, take a mile. That's what happens here. Let's listen.
Safe Haven is here to get people who are being picked up like that person.
Yes.
So the people that are injured really badly, or maybe other people too, we don't know how many people, are being taken out into the woods around the Whipple and released in the middle of the night, sometimes with no clothes, always with no phone, if they're brown, with no ID. And it's a death sentence. One of the people had a cracked skull that's been treated. So they're taking the people that they don't want us to know about, and they're dropping them in the woods, which I've heard is something that they've been doing with Native Americans for a long time, and we're just continuing that tradition. But that is sickening me right now.
Oh, no, that wasn't the clip. But that's okay. I don't think maybe they changed the link? Let me see. I'll check. No, it's the same link. Protester speaks out. Proves. Because I got it right here. Let me get this. Hold on.
Solutions come when incompetent leaders overestimate their power, and they unleash solidarity and courage. And that's what's happening right now. I believe that what is happening here right now is going to be the turning point of this regime. It is going to be the turning point of this regime. So I know it is hard sometimes, and I know we are tired sometimes, and I know our fingers freeze in the cold. But you know what? We are going to turn this around.
We're going to turn this around.
Show the country the path, not just to kick ICE out of Minnesota, although we will.
Huh?
Not just to abolish ICE once and for all.
Not just ICE.
Also to build the type of organizing networks of solidarity, the type of mass organizing that can not only end Trump's fascist regime, but actually build a new political system for all everyday people. I want a world where we can all breathe clean air and drink clean water, and we can go to school safely, and we don't have to live in fear of our neighbors getting grabbed. And I believe we are going to win it.
See? You see? Do you see how they don't care about any one goal that they seem to have? This was all, every time you listen to them, it's all about, ICE out of Minneapolis, ICE out of Minnesota, ICE out of this, the state or city. And then and climate change and this. They do not stop. Never give them an inch. Never capitulate. Never say, okay. The worst possible thing that could happen right now is the Trump administration pulling ICE out of Minnesota. That would be a catastrophe, because then they would be emboldened to riot and approach and antagonize law enforcement, everything they've been doing, for every single thing that the Trump administration wants to put forth. Every single part of his political agenda, they would know. All we have to do is stand in front of cars, blow whistles, toot horns, assault officers, assault people that don't agree with us, and then a couple of people get shot, which we really don't care about, and then we're able to call them murderers, and then we win. They back out. We cannot let them get one single inch with any of this. I don't care how many of their dummies have to get 3 to the face. Do not care. Don't look to me for any sympathy. You go on social media. Don't look to me to go, well, maybe ICE is taking it a little far. You will never get that from me, because I know what their plan is. This is a plan. This is a way they're waging their war. They want their people to get shot. A couple of useless idiots take the the room temperature challenge, and they win. Because the mainstream media and Hollywood and everything, as you've seen, goes, oh, this is terrible. And if for a second you doubt your mission and what you're doing and you back off, it's over. Their agenda works. They understand that, and they will continue it and stop you from doing every single thing you need to do in any leadership position in this country. Do not fall for it. Back in a minute.
This is the Anthony Cumia Show.
Listen to this podcast now
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Cop Talk with Captain Ed Mamet and Detective Kevin Schroeder.
Today on Cop Talk, my guests are Pete Panuccio, David Giordano, and Rory Kappa. Well, let's start with Mandami. He's keeping Commissioner Tisch for now.
Yeah, I think that was a politically motivated idea to keep her in the beginning, and I think it's actually very good because he is a new mayor, and he does need somebody that at least has been at the helm of the police department.
I mean, there's talk that, she'll be here for like a month or two, maybe 3 months.
He's new to the whole system. I think it's going to take him a while to get out in front of a camera on any police involvement.
Kevin, I think to be fair to him, we have to give him a little bit of pass on that.
I'm not giving him a pass on anything. He can't bring himself to say anything good about cops. People around him, they're so far to the left. They're literally insane. He's beholden to a lot of special interest groups. I don't really foresee this guy at any point sticking up for the police. I just don't see it. Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
This is the Anthony Cumia Show.
The Anthony Cumia Show, and let's go to Gary in Jersey. He brings up a great point. How you doing, Gary?
Good, Anthony. I love your show. My kid showed me how to watch it on that computer thing.
On that wacky, infernal machine, computer. I get you.
Yeah, a lot of retards on there, but not you. Anyway,
thank you.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was in the Air Police.
Thank you for your service, my friend.
I did 25 years on the job in New Jersey. And I've been retired 25 years now. Well, 24 and a half.
That, let me do some math. You're 128.
73.
I missed it. I forgot to carry the 5. Okay.
There you go. Well, they don't teach you how to do that in school no more. So,
no. I fit right into some of the new inner city schools. Yeah. Exactly, Gary.
They send you something written in script. These kids are lost.
They can't read. It's like a code. It's like the Enigma machine. They can't figure out script.
Absolutely. But what I was going to say is Ashley Babbitt, 34-year-old, Air Force veteran, went to the January 6th. I don't even call it a protest.
No.
It was, they went. They wanted to look around. They said what they wanted. Yeah, things got a little out of hand, but not crazy like
a little. It was a little out of hand. A good way to put it, Gary.
So anyway, she's going into the building there, the Capitol building. Her back is turned. She's going through a window. And I got to tell you something. I don't like saying this because there's another cop. I didn't know him or any of it. He shot her in the friggin' back.
Yep.
Shot her in the back. Not. She wasn't facing him with a gun. She wasn't saying. Basically, he probably told her, don't go there, and she went and shot him. Not only do they make this guy like he's the victim and the hero.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that guy didn't need his gun. You shot a young girl in the back going in a window. Could you imagine two guys pulling up to a burglary and the guy's going through the window and they shot him in the back?
Was he a danger? Why would you shoot him? You had no justification. Did you feel your life was being threatened? Exactly.
Yeah. Illegal entering is not a capital offense.
No, it's not.
And what I never could understand, why don't you just drag her by the collar and say you can't go in there?
Yeah.
And then
kick in the ass. Really give him a kick in the ass and send him home.
Absolutely. But the thing that I don't understand, no one on the left, the Democrats, had any outrage. These people are in Minnesota and wherever the hell else they're doing it. I call it Drajul land.
Yeah.
Those people, these guys and girls, are picking up people on warrants that have a deportation order.
Yeah.
And, you know, these other people are trying to block them and do this and that. And, you know, it's America's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's, you know, we're trying to do what the law says. The
best person that they're trying to arrest and deport is worse than the worst person that they say is the worst person on January 6th. They will never defend these people. And you bring up a great point with Ashley Babbitt. You show me where that cop felt that either he or any of the people he was supposed to be protecting, the senators and Congress people in the Capitol, where was the imminent threat? I've heard all these stories about, they're coming in to hang people. They're going to shoot Pelosi. They're doing this and that. There was not one instance where you could absolutely say, oh, my God, at that moment, that life was threatened. There was nobody involved in January 6th that put an imminent threat to someone's life in place that needed a deadly physical force response that cop gave to Ashley Babbitt. And she's looked at as a terrorist. He's a hero. And then we got to look at this Alex Preddy guy like he's the victim of victims executed in the streets.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking, and I go back a long time, I remember the Democratic convention in Chicago in 1968. And Mayor Daley at the time, who would be considered a right-wing Republican today, he gave them the response they needed. They were trying to block a convention, even though it was Democrats, but they were trying to block a convention from going on. And that's the thing. See, our rights on the right don't count.
Nope.
If we're going to do something or we're having some kind of thing, our rights don't count. It's only theirs.
Only theirs.
You know, and I think what we need to do, I mean, if I was running the thing, which I'm not, and, you know, it's just kind of
it just seems like none of us are, Gary.
Yeah, like an old man saying what he'd like to see. I would get rid of all them batons, them pop-out ones, give them the oak nightsticks, and say, get them.
The old wood shampoo, as we...
Hey, I still got mine.
I love it.
I still got it. It's in the front seat of mine. I don't carry as much as I used to.
I love it.
I live where it's rural, so we can keep our door open. I can keep the keys to my car in the car.
Yeah.
One breaks it. I mean, some of it happens, but you know.
It's like, Gary, it's like in Smokey and the Bandit. That's an attention getter. Like it meant like,
I'll tell you what, when you go out, and I can tell you this a long time ago, but when you go out and you have one of them, the conversation is totally different. When I watch your videos, because I remember what they used to call it was the good night stick.
Good night.
Once you got cracked with it, good night.
I love it.
And I remember when they would see that, and they still watch that. When you see that, when they see that, that is what grabs you and makes you think about doing all this stupid stuff. And when I watch some of your videos and I see how people behave in restaurants or when guys stop them,
right?
When you had that stick, you know, and I started as a correction officer at Rahway State Prison.
Ooh, the Scared Straight prison.
Yeah. Most of them are doing time. Most of their grandkids are doing time.
No doubt.
But when you have that stick, it puts a whole different meaning on what you're going to do to get things calmed down.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Holman never thought. I mean, hey, like I said, I'm an old man thinking back from a long time ago and everything like that.
Hey, a more sensible time, Gary. I got to be honest, because, like you said, watching those videos and stuff, there was this push that for some reason everyone thought the police weren't being respectful enough to the communities. And then they pushed, they pushed this and pushed this to the point where the police were respectful to people that were respecting them. Then it became, you don't have to respect the cops at all, but the cops will have their hands tied now in this fantasy that they have to respect the people that are quite literally trying to kill them in some instances. And all you see now are these thugs yelling at cops, calling them pieces of crap, just the worst things. And the cops have to stand there and take it. And young people see that and go, well, why do I have to respect this guy? What's he going to do? He can't do anything. What you're talking about with the stick, the good night stick, that was respect. That was true respect.
I'll tell you what. When you see them do the stops, and I watch a lot of them on your show there, and they talk like that.
We got 10 seconds there, Gary.
I think when I was a kid, they'd have pulled you through the fly window, not the big window.
All right, bro.
Anthony, I love your show.
Thanks, man. The Anthony Cumia Show. We got, we're on a schedule here with spots and stuff, but I want to thank Gary for that call. That's awesome. He's the kind of guy I could sit down with a few beers and talk hours with a guy like that. So thank you for the call, Gary. Appreciate that, man. Tim Walz, Tim, he's the governor up there of Minnesota, and he's the guy that really needs to get this bull by the horns and take care of it. You got to take care of this. You got to settle it. You watch the mob movies, any of them, Goodfellas. You got to go back. I can't take it. They're commiserating. You got to go. Tim Walz is supposed to be handling this. He can't handle it. One of the biggest problems, I think, in this situation in Minnesota is that they are so dead set to present themselves as people that will not cooperate with ICE. And again, it's under this false impression that they're trying to put out there that it's to keep the people safe. We will not work with ICE because we want to keep our citizens safe. Now, if you don't want your police helping ICE locate illegals, if you're arresting illegals and then you let them go without letting ICE know they were ever in custody, maybe, I'm not even saying for sure, but maybe that's legal. Maybe if that's your prerogative. But when you don't let your police force show up to do simple crowd control, when ICE is performing their duties and people show up to riot, harass them, throw things, alert the people that they're trying to arrest, any of the things we've seen, this is not protesting. This is not First Amendment right protesting. You are breaking the law when you're doing this. And for people like Tim Walz and Jared Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, to not make sure the police are readily available when ICE is performing what they do, to make sure that the citizens, these protesters, don't get in the way, don't do things that might get them hurt or killed, then you don't care. You don't care about your constituents. And I don't think they do. I honestly think they hope they get hurt and killed. So they have a great martyr to parade around and say, look how awful ICE is and how we need to get rid of them. That's what I believe. Because if they cared at all, the local and state police would be out there doing crowd control. Look, ICE isn't a crowd control law enforcement agency. They're not there to arrest and deport people and also make sure protesters are kept at bay. That is the job of the police. And when people like Tim Walz and Jared Frey prevent the police from doing that job, they are endangering the people that they say they are serving. And, not that they care, endangering ICE agents. Where are the cops when this happens? Why is ICE doing crowd control when their mission is to apprehend illegal aliens? You're endangering the people and the ICE agents on purpose so you could hang those martyrs in people's faces. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Tim Walz has been talking, and we've been listening. Not really. Tim Walz is trying to say to the people, and a lot of celebrities have said this, if you change your mind about Trump, if you get a different opinion, you think he's gone too far, change your mind. Just come over to their side. Come over, embrace. Tim Walz will give you a hug. He will hug you. If you just realize you made a huge mistake voting for Trump, supporting him, and they'll accept you. Isn't that great to know? Don't you want to be in the bosom of a blue-haired freak with a nose ring, yelling with those crazy, you could see the whites around their iris eyes? Don't you want acceptance from them and not the acceptance, or you don't even need acceptance, just not knowing that you're doing the right thing, you're supporting the right side, you're being an American for God's sake? So here's Tim Walz saying, if you change your mind about Trump, don't worry, you're welcome.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota. And there's one person who can end this now.
Oh, that was the other clip. 50-50 shot. Almost did it. It was the other Tim Walz clip about the changing your mind. Do you got that one? Yeah? Maybe? Tim Walz? Yeah. Let me look at my little sheet. There's like 2 Tim Walz clips. It's the other one. Yeah. I guess I should memorize.
You're allowed to decide at any point that you're not with this anymore. If you voted for this administration, heck, even if you thought Operation Metro Surge was a good idea, sounded like the thing to do a month ago, you're still allowed to look at what's happening here in Minnesota and say, this isn't what I voted for and this isn't what I want. I ask you not to stand by idly. Speak out, share what you're seeing, and urge others to put politics aside. We're no longer having a political debate. We're having
politics
a moral
aside?
debate. We all want secure borders and immigration enforcement that prioritizes criminals.
No, you don't.
And I want to thank the press, especially the local press, who has done a deep dive to show that's exactly what Minnesota does.
No, they haven't.
But what you're seeing is not common sense, lawful, or humane enforcement.
Yes, it is.
That's not what this occupation is about.
Yes, it is. There he is. if you want to come out, I've heard so many lefty dummies say this. They want, their biggest fantasy, and it's so childish. It's so junior high. Their biggest fantasy is that Trump supporters, MAGA, the right, all the words for us, that we go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I have such regret for what I've done supporting Donald J. Trump. It's been a catastrophe. This would be fun for you to clip and play online like I'm really saying it. That's their fantasy. Meanwhile, again, I don't know one Trump supporter that regrets voting for Donald Trump, especially over Kamala Harris. But it's another one of these childish fantasies that you play out. In junior high, maybe you were in love with this girl. Now, if you're in junior high, you probably never said a word to her, but you fell deeply in love with her. That's what kind of a dork I was. And then she goes out with a guy that's, the jock or something, just more... you felt he was better than you because you were just a nerd and a dork. And you'd have these little fantasies in your head like, oh, yeah, once she finds out how awesome I am, she's going to be like, yeah, you're great. He was so dumb and mean to me, but you're so nice. And that is your dumb junior high thinking. Meanwhile, she's bedding half the football team and you're still in love. But that's their fantasy, that us Trump supporters are going, oh, I'm so sorry. You're the best. I never realized how you're the best. It ain't happening. That isn't how we're thinking. We love what's happening. Deport, deport, deport. For some reason, they think we're going to think like they do. Ain't going to happen. We don't have these delusions that they're going to come around. There's one thing that does happen. It's not a fantasy thing, but this does happen. When a liberal, especially it's got to be like a young liberal, late teens, let's say, when they finally get a real job, making money, it's on the books, and then they get that first paycheck and they look at the deductions, that's when they start going, oh, what the hell is this? I figured out what I make per hour before I got the check. I work 40 hours. I make this much an hour. I thought I would have this. Why so many deductions? And then you go, see? That isn't a fantasy. That isn't like, oh, you're going to regret not being on our side. They learn that their side sucks. That half your money going to these ridiculous programs. These programs that you might have held up a protest sign in support of. When it starts coming out of your rent money, your food money, your car payment. Now, you don't need me telling you it sucks. You now know it sucks. Tell me one instance where you feel like that because something happened with the left, the liberals, the Democrats, the insane people. One instance where you go, you've experienced something where you go, oh, yeah, I need to maybe recheck my agenda here. Ain't gonna happen. Again, conservatives, Republicans, the right wing, logic-based, reasonable, looking at facts and figures, statistics, assessing and coming up with a conclusion. The left, the liberals, the Democrats, insane emotional outbursts, not based in reality. You'll never see a conservative, a rational conservative, saying, I think I need to go over to this mental institution. It just ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. Don't work like that. Oh, my God. All right. Swalwell. All right. There we go. He's running for, I guess, governor of California. And this has been something that some of the governors and other politicians have thrown around. They say that if you are an ICE agent now, unless you quit and disavow ICE and beg and kiss the feet of liberal left politicians and whatnot, that you will never work in the state of California again. And I've seen a few other states try to pull this nonsense. First of all, is it even legal? I don't think it's legal to say based on your previous occupation, unless, you were a serial killer, that they could prevent you from working in their state based on your legal previous occupation. You've done a good job. You have recommendations. You want to go for a new job. And then they go, no, you were this. You were an ICE agent. So let's listen to this. I almost cursed. Moron, I'll say, as he campaigns for California governor and says that ICE agents will not get work in that state.
So my advice to ICE, just quit. Walk off the job. For this will forever haunt you. Civilized societies don't have mass militias swarming our streets, but Donald Trump has turned our communities into war zones. Trump's turned ICE into an angry army of cocked weapons roaming our streets with their safeties filed off. So here are the rules when I'm governor. If you refuse to unmask, you'll lose your driver's license. If you work for ICE, you're disqualified from ever working for the state. I will use every statute to keep you off the streets, every power to protect the people. And to ICE agents, you don't wear your mask just for anonymity. You wear your mask for moral cover. It hides your identity from us, but also your humanity from yourself. It allows you to commit atrocities. So my advice to ICE, quit, walk off, and do it now, before you kill another nurse named Pretty or a mom named Good.
Shut up. Did you have a cocked weapon with Fang Fang, the Chinese spy? How this guy is even still in politics is beyond me. He bedded a Chinese spy. And it's known. No one denies this. And he just is able to continue his career. Imagine the pictures and videos of other people he must have in order to hold that position of power. And yeah, can you just tell an entire group of people that an entire state will never employ you because you were an ICE agent or anything? Oh, my God, you worked in an ice cream store? I hate ice cream. Never will you work in my state. I don't even think that's a thing that can happen. I have to imagine a court of law would have to look that over and go, you're out of your mind if you think this can happen. And if it can, just think of all the implications it makes for other states and other people. Oh, you supported Black Lives Matter. You'll never work in this state. What is different? Tell me what's different there. Oh, you worked in Chicago. You were police in Chicago, and you listened to your police chief that would not arrest people. Some reason. Don't arrest murderers. I don't know. You'll never work in this state again. Is that a thing? Is that something that can actually be done by an idiot that had sex with a Chinese spy? Don't pay attention. Just throw these lies off. Throw these agenda-driven, nonsensical lies away. He cannot do that. It cannot possibly be legal. I can't imagine that it would be. All right, plenty more. I don't even know where you're going. Your calls, too, 800-848-9222. Back in a minute. So, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it like you can't even imagine. This played earlier, but I want to get to the Tim Walz. He's trying to make some type of, comparison to the couple of children's stories we've heard happening out of Minnesota and the ICE situation. One of them that it really got a lot of attention was a gentleman, an illegal gentleman, was being apprehended by ICE as per the president, as per our votes. And his young son was outside. And this father just tried to run. He tried to get away from ICE. ICE apprehended him. And then the son, the child, he's out in the weather, just out on the street. And he was then taken into the custody of ICE. This happens every day, probably hundreds, if not more, times a day in this country when law enforcement has to arrest a parent or parents that have children. The children are taken into custody to be put in a safe environment until a relative can be contacted, and if they fit the bill, they take custody of the kid or Child Protective Services. But in the immediate aftermath of an arrest, the law enforcement agency takes that child into their custody to protect them and keep them safe. What the liberal Democrat douches, if I may use the word douche, have decided to do is to portray that as kidnapping or using the child as bait to get the father, the illegal father, back and get him in custody. And they've been running with that one, but that was a big one a couple of days ago. They get a new one every couple of days. The latest one is the 6-year-old girl, I guess, that the father didn't watch. But, yeah, this kid was taken into protective custody of ICE, and they just could not see it for what it was. Like any other arrest of parents in this country happens constantly. Parents commit crimes. Parents get arrested. They have kids. The cops don't just leave the kids. It's a huge, important part of law enforcement is to make sure the children of criminals are cared for and put in a safe place until arrangements can be made to put them in the custody of family or whatever it might be that will keep them safe while their parents are processed. It's no different when you arrest a person that is here illegally and needs to be deported. That's it. That's all. And the bull that they were spouting about the kidnapping. So Tim Walz, knowing that kids are involved, had to come up with this little analogy. Let's listen.
We have got children in Minnesota hiding in their houses, afraid to go outside. Many of us grew up reading that story of Anne Frank. Somebody's going to write that children's story about Minnesota. And there's one person who can end this now.
I don't recall when Anne Frank had a pistol in her pants and decided to attack the Gestapo when they found her little place in the attic. They cannot stop trying to equate the Trump administration and law enforcement and ICE and the Border Patrol with Nazi Germany. And I think we're all onto it. God, I hope we're all onto it. That this is such nonsense, such a ham-handed, childish way to try to villainize the right. Nazi? If Trump and his supporters and administration were Nazis, do you think you'd be able to say a word? Do you think you'd be able to protest? It's insane. Evoking Anne Frank and trying to equate that with any child of an illegal immigrant that is put in protective custody of the government is such a reach. And, you know, for some people, it should be looked at as disgusting. If you're of Jewish heritage, you should look at that and go, what? All right, people, we will be back next Sunday. What a great show. Thank you, all callers. We'll see you next week.